Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us after a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's 2021. We're okay. We're pivoting here. Today's a special day, and when we can introduce a head coach, it's always a special day. First, though, a couple of thank yous. I want to thank Dr. Sue Jenna, our faculty athletic rep, and Kara Helmick, our senior women's administrator, who helped us through the process. They were nothing but phenomenal. Chad Karthauser, who he's one of our associate athletic directors, and he worked administratively through the process. Dr. Armacost, Andy, thank you so much for meeting with the finalists, and a special thank you to Gene Roebuck, our Hall of Fame coach, who provided tremendous perspective for me. When you can have someone of Gene's ilk give you his knowledge and his thoughts about the program, it's pretty special. Thoughts on Mal and the hire. During the process, I thought Mal did a great job of articulating her vision for UND's women's basketball program to regain championship competitiveness. We're aligned. I look forward to working with her through the process to get us back into championship contention. I think as a player, she knows firsthand what it means to be in this program and how special it is. I know this year we've gone through a lot of adversity, and I think a lot of programs around the country, actually opted out not to play this year. And even through the adversity, we forged on. And a lot of that had to do with Mal's leadership. She was determined. She stayed optimistic. A lot of the things that I think is going to be critical for us moving forward, she exhibited throughout this challenging year. As I mentioned before, she's an alum of the program. We now have 4 head coaches on our staff that have been alums of the program, and that is incredibly special. Finally, I know Mallory will be a special role model for our student athletes currently and futuristically. And so with that, I would like to introduce our 7th head women's basketball coach at the University of North Dakota, Mallory Bernhard.
Well, it seems fitting to start with one of Bill's favorite quotes, "The great ones adjust." So I'm not sure I qualify as one of the great ones, but we will adjust. So here's the new plan: adapt and overcome, right? Same sentiments to start. I feel like I have a lot of thank yous, and it starts with Dr. Armacost, with Bill, Kara, Sue, Chad, in placing their faith in me to take over this program. Truly, I'm incredibly honored, and I know that their faith in me is the reason I stand here. Coach Roebuck deserves more. Thank you is not enough for what I can say to Coach Roebuck and what he's provided me, what he's done for me. 15 years ago, he brought me to UND for the first time and gave me the opportunity to be a part of the university that truly means the world to me. And again, Coach has been there for me throughout this last year, been someone that I could lean on just throughout the season and throughout this process. And I really can't say thank you enough. And even this morning on the phone with him again, and he just says how proud he is. And I don't think there's ever a moment in your life when a coach saying that how proud they are of you isn't impactful. And he's made such an incredible impact on my life. And I hope to do the same to all the players that come through this program. And lastly, huge thank you to my staff and my family. They've been incredibly supportive throughout this year. I know we all went through a lot together. To our staff that never gave up, never quit, continued to fight, do everything we could for our young ladies, and for this program that means the world to me and my family, Nick and little Lou. It takes a special person to deal with any coach, me particularly, I would say, and I'm incredibly thankful to both of you. As for the vision for this program, I feel that Bill and I have a shared vision with where we want to see things go. And that's to see this program competing for championships, to get ourselves on that level put ourselves on that stage and give ourselves the opportunity to raise a trophy at the end of the year. And where we are now and where we want to be, there's a great separation between the two. So we know that there is a lot of work that needs to be done to get to that point. But there's no doubt that we will be putting in that work as a coaching staff, as players, and just, again, given the opportunity to do so, we will do everything we can to get the program back to that level. We know this university is a great place. We have, a phenomenal institution, a phenomenal athletics program, a phenomenal community. We have so much to be proud of and to sell, that we want to be the destination that recruits want to come to. We want to be a place, and I believe we can be. And I can sell that firsthand and let every one of our recruits know firsthand how important all those factors are, and what they can provide to an individual well beyond their basketball careers. And I will say, with one of the big things we're going to hit the road with is recruiting. We got to step up our game big time. And again, we believe we can. We know that we have so many great things about the institution and this program that we can get ourselves to the level that we want to be at. And we're already starting to see and make progress, but the work never stops. And again, I'm just thankful for everybody for giving me the chance to move forward with this program.
The challenging season with COVID, injuries, et cetera. How did you get to the point in this season where you knew you were prepared for this new challenge?
I don't know that there was ever a point where you say, I'm ready for this. But as you can see, you just learn to kind of adjust with whatever's thrown your way. And truly, yes, we definitely had our fair share of challenges throughout the year. But you absolutely do the best you can. And at the end of the day, I take every challenge as what's going to be the best for our team, our program, and the young ladies we get to coach. And truly, that's what this is about. That's what coaching is about. That's, basketball, of course, we want to win championships, but there's just so much more to it. And it's so much about the women I get the opportunity to coach and building confidence in them. And they're going to face challenges in life beyond basketball. And we're not going to shy away from those now as basketball players, and hopefully they can learn from these, experiences that we've had to go through this year and take them on to life when they run into challenges in the future.
So Tom Miller is asking, in the short term and long term, where does this program need improvement?
It starts with recruiting. It really does. It starts with recruiting. We absolutely need to bring in players that can help us get to the levels that we want to achieve. We say we want to be competing for championships. We say we want to be, playing in the NCAA tournament, and that starts with the players on your team. So we absolutely need, the people that can help us get that done. And of course, as coaches, our job, bring in, the best possible players, the best possible fit, all sorts of components, of course, to recruiting, but then developing our players, and getting them to those levels that we feel like help us reach those goals.
So the Summit League is now becoming a routine 2-bid league. When we get back to normal scheduling, whatever that is, how will that change your non-conference scheduling, if any?
That's I think we have so many good games within conference, truly, that I think we can prove ourselves there. Of course, we're not going to shy away from who we schedule. We will play top-notch teams. And again, we want to absolutely see success in our non-conference, but we also believe, as we continue to build the program to the heights we want to get to, we can take on bigger and better challenges.
What advice did you get, if any, from Coach Roebuck?
I got quite a bit of advice from Coach Roebuck. I've gotten a lot of advice from Coach Roebuck for 15 years. But no, one of the first things he said to me was just be true to who I am, and be confident that, the things that I've taught and the work that I've put in are why I'm here. And I don't need to be anybody else. But just be true to who I am, and he knows the person I am, that I'm going to work incredibly hard, and so that never stops. It's just about having confidence in my own abilities and being me.
So kind of a follow-up there. Can you do a quick summary of him recruiting you here to UND and what that process was like?
It's funny. I think he started with recruiting through my high school coach. My high school coach asked me one day, we came back from a tournament, I'll never forget. And the next day, we get back at like 9 a.m. He says, the next day I'm leaving at 6 a.m. to go visit my parents that live in North Dakota. Would you want to come up to a camp? I'm sure this wasn't just some random camp that my coach wanted to bring me to. So I came up to camp here at UND. And that was the first time that I had met Coach Roebuck. Now there's a chance that he had called my house 100 times. I don't know. I didn't have a cell phone back then. And I avoided the house like the plague because I hated getting phone calls from coaches. So my parents may have had a lot of calls or contact with him, but I came up to camp. I met him. I met the team. I got to see a little bit of the community, the feel of the university. And immediately I just felt a different connection. I had visited a lot of places closer to home, mostly in the Missouri Valley. And at the time UND was Division II, but there was just something special about UND. And I still see that. And I just, again, I couldn't be more thankful because truly those moments and coach giving me the chance has truly changed my life.
So another follow-up from Tom, despite the record of this past year, what was it that gave you reason to believe that this staff is the one that could lead the turnaround?
We dealt with a lot of things. There's no doubt, but I think the big thing is we never quit fighting. We never quit working as hard as we could. And you could see with our team on the floor and just the way our ladies carried themselves, that things are starting to turn. Things are starting to turn in a good way. And it just might take a little bit of time. And I know Coach Roebuck referenced it again. You have to be patient. Good things come to those who wait. And we're working hard. We're diligently doing everything we can. And we do believe that we have the people in place that can get this turned around.
A little different question because you've been in the office for a year, but what's the first thing you do when you get back to your office today?
That's a good question. Yeah. I haven't had lunch yet. No, to be honest, after I got word on things yesterday, one of the first things I did was start reaching out to some major recruits because I do believe that recruiting is where this comes down to. And so recruiting is the first thing that I'm hitting hard, and not sure how much I can get into it, but we did get some good news in the recruiting front too. So I would say effort's well worth it.
Nick Cousin from KVRR says, what's the biggest takeaway from this past season that could help you moving forward?
Biggest takeaway. That's a good one. I've thought a lot about this one too. Biggest takeaway is I think for me personally, just how much preparation went into each and every single game, but still having to have that ability to adapt a little bit on the fly and kind of figure out different situations. You think each game is going to kind of go one way and it might turn into a different scenario. But biggest takeaway is continue to be as prepared as possible. And again, teach. I'm such a believer in fundamentals and providing our young ladies with the skills, the knowledge, so that maybe we don't have to do so much in-game coaching, so that on the fly, they have those tools right in their toolbox.
And we'll probably wrap it up with this. You've got a lot of pieces in place from last year. How is that going to affect how your game plan is next year? What kind of team are we going to see from UND next year?
Yeah, I think, we do have a lot of the same pieces back, but, and got to see a little bit of the style that I like to play offensively, defensively. But hopefully, again, a more refined version of it. Again, so much of what I like and what we tried to build is based on skill set, on fundamentals. And given the summer, the fall that we had, we just didn't have the opportunity maybe to work on those as much as we would have liked. And so again, those will be huge pieces that we continue to work on. And again, just the greater the skill set our players have, the greater you're going to see carry over into the offense, the defense. And so I do believe there was a glimpse of what this team will be, but hopefully a much more refined version.